Now that I've added my event block in, it's time for me to take a look at adding in an event itself. So first thing I'm going to do is take a look at managing my event categories. I do this because I want to make sure I have the right categories in play before adding my event. For example, I'm going to do some educational seminars, so I'm going to modify my blue category by selecting Edit Category, and I'm going to change that to be titled Education. I'm going to go ahead and hit Submit. And now I have my education category added. I'm going to exit out of here, and then I'm going to take a look at adding in my actual event. I do so by clicking the Add Event button. When I add my event in, I'm able to give it a number of different information. I'm able to title it. I'm going to title this one Educational Series. I'm going to give it a category. Now I'm going to choose that education category I had created earlier. Now I can make my event an all-day event by selecting yes, or if it's not an all-day event, I select no, and I designate my time by clicking and choosing. And I can also choose a start time by adjusting my bar, and an end time by adjusting my bar as well. And I hit Done. Now, I can choose whether or not this event reoccurs. If I do want this event to reoccur, I can choose my frequency. Is it on a daily basis, a weekly basis where I can choose the days in which it reoccurs on that week, or I can choose that it reoccurs on a monthly basis. When I choose monthly, I can choose a month day where I can pull the drop down and designate the day in which it reoccurs, or I can choose the weekday where I can designate it's the first, second, third, fourth, or last, and then I choose the day of the week. So for this purpose, I'm choosing the last Monday of each month. Now here's my interval, and if I ever have a question about what's going on, I choose my question mark and it gives me a description. For example, when it comes to interval, it's the number of weeks or months between reoccurrences. For example, if it's every other week, you put in 2, or every 3 months, 3. It must be an integer value greater than 0. So, for example, if I want this to reoccur every other month on the last Monday, I select 2. And I can also choose when this entire reoccurrence will end. For example, if this is only a seasonal event and I want it to end in May of 2012, on the last Monday, I designate that and then I move on. Now I'm going to add in my text. Now I place in my text and I'm able to give it a description. I'm able to modify my text if appropriate, and even put in links if necessary. I'm going to leave that as is, and then I'm going to select the first sentence to put in for my summary. Again, a summary is a great way to entice people to learn more about that event. I can make this featured, yes or no, and I can make it active, yes or no. I'm going to leave it active and I'm not going to make it featured, and I'm going to hit Submit. So now I've added in my event. Let's take a look at how that appears. When I scroll down, there's my educational series. You can know that it reoccurs because it has this little reoccurrence symbol, and when you put your mouse over it, it tells you that it reoccurs every 2 months on the last Monday, starting on October 3rd through the May 28th. Now I've added my event in. If I want to edit the series, I can select Edit the Event Series and make the appropriate adjustments as necessary, where I can select to change different items if needed. I'm not going to make any adjustments, but I can also edit the specific event because remember I have multiple events going on throughout the year and I'm indicated that I want it to end at a certain time. So when I take a look at this specific event, let's just say I have a special speaker that's going to be attending, I can make a few adjustments. I can change the text by selecting the change text box, and I can drop down to say special speaker will be attending and put in the appropriate information, and then I can hit submit. And what it will do for that specific event is it will make that adjustment. Now I'm done adding my event in. The next training will cover how to add an RSVP.